Welcome to Las Vegas TV. I'm Justin Holman, and today I'm at the Cigar Box with my friend Dane Maralason. How you doing, Dane?
Real good, Justin. How are you?
Now, Dane is a cigar smoker, of course, and he's also an inventor, entrepreneur, and he's come up with a product that I've never seen anywhere before, never even occurred to me, and the product that you've come up with is called?
It's called Repuff. Repuff is the world's first proven cigar relighting solution. You heard me right, a relighting solution.
So, you're saying that you came up with this product that will, so what, you smoke your cigar, you don't finish it, and then you use this product to kind of save it, or how does it work?
Well, I kid people that I say it's not Jesus. It can't resurrect a dead cigar. Okay. But it can save a lit one. And I'll demonstrate with the cap on, then later we'll actually demonstrate with the cap off, because I do want to enjoy a little more of this particular cigar. But essentially you extinguish the cigar with Repuff, with about 5 drops around the ring of fire, and you take a couple of puffs to draw it in, and then 1 or 2 drops on top, and then you store it. There's a couple of storage methods, and I'll talk about that in a moment. The amazing thing is that, you know, when I developed this about 2 years ago, and it was the result of my wife being all involved in teas and herbal teas and fruit teas and exotic ingredients. And one day she came out, we were in the backyard, I was waiting for a call, I was enjoying a VSG, and she came out with tea that was remarkable for its lack of flavor. I mean, it literally tasted like extremely bland beyond bland. But I dutifully drank nearly all of it, and was complimentary. And then my call came in, so I ran to the house, and I'm sitting on the phone, VSG and tea in hand on the phone, and I suddenly realized, because the one rule we have, I mean, she smokes cigars, I smoke cigars, we don't smoke in the house, okay, unless we've got extreme fans on, okay, that's the only time we smoke in the house. I immediately took the cigar and dumped it in what was left of the tea, finished my call. Well, I mean, it was a $25 cigar. I'm not going to waste 2/3 of it in a glass of tea. So I took it out, dabbed it with a paper towel, you know, set it in a little baggie where I thought, okay, this will be safe for a little while. And the next day I lit it up. Now, it wasn't perfect, but I was amazed at just how good it tasted. It didn't have that rancidness that I was expecting. So, you know, we tried it again with different teas and nothing. And then I asked her, I said, well, what did you put in the tea? And then we started working on that. And within about a month, we had the formula. What took me another couple of months was finding a good, consistent source for it. And we just used it for ourselves for about a year. I mean, because every time I tell somebody, I remember I told a mutual friend of ours that owns a cigar shop, I said, hey, I think I could save cigars. And he looked at me like, right, sure you can. And that was the end of the conversation. So my wife and I we'd go into a cigar lounge and we'd save our own cigars for our own purposes. And it just never even occurred to me that anybody would be interested in buying it, because the first few people I mentioned it to were just, you know, oh yeah, right, nobody can do that, okay? And I started to think to myself, maybe it's the placebo effect. Maybe I like it because it's my baby and I think it tastes good. So it was Super Bowl last year with Pittsburgh and the Cardinals. And of course, everybody in the bar wanted the Cardinals to win. My wife wanted Pittsburgh to win. And she got her wish, okay? But when the game was over, she and I started snuffing our cigars with, we didn't have a name. It was just, we called it our cigar relighting solution. And about 3 people came over to us and said, what are you doing? And I said, well, we save it. Really? I got to try that, because, you know, there's still some cigar left. So we said, sure. So we had a completely different dropper and everything, because again, this is just for our use. So we did it. I got a call from all 3 of them the next day saying, oh my God, this stuff is incredible. You've got to market this. Where can I get this? How can I get this? And that was really the point where I thought, maybe I do have a product here, because it's not just my taste buds, but But these are three people who are cigar smokers that know what a cigar tastes like. And they got excited. Okay, that was February. August was the IPCPR. That was the first thing I did. I said, well, where's the next big cigar event? New Orleans, IPCPR. That gave me about 6 months to come up with a name, to come up with packaging, to come up with pricing, to come up with a whole strategy. And that's when I started literally trying to put focus groups together of different cigar smokers and a couple of store owners. And we went all of this mostly at the Las Vegas Cigar Lounge, which was sorry that they're no longer around, but it was a great place. And we got about 5 different people, and there's even a video of the last focus group on YouTube. If you look under, if you search Repuff under YouTube, you'll see 2 videos right now, and the one that has Felipe. You know Felipe, but the last thing he says in the video is, "I can taste the coffee," and he was so enthusiastic about it. The people in that video were all what I would call hypercritics, in that, you know, you had Doug, Felipe, you know the crowd, okay?
Right, you had Felipe, Doug, Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter, okay? Yep. These are people that would take pleasure in telling you, you know, Dane, great idea. When it works, then I'd be interested in it. But instead what you see is, and Doug is the best video of all, because you can see him lighting it. You can almost, if you know what you're looking at, you realize, you see the consternation in his face as he's starting to relight it. And then when he puts it down, he looks at the cigar like, huh, that's something else. Then he puffs it again, and that's when he breaks out laughing and says, wow, this is amazing. So that's what told me it's not just me, it's not just a placebo effect, but this is actually something people like. So we finally came up with the name, and the name was the hardest thing, because cigar relighting solution, first half of my career was advertising and marketing, and I've been in a lot of groups, branding groups, where we tried to come up with a name for a product. And when you're a new product, you want a name that is fairly functional, that describes the product. But if you have a name that's too functional, then the name becomes very, it cheapens the product. Because right. Now, you know, you're already commoditizing it before it's a commodity. Mm-hmm. So, you know, people always look at Kleenex as that perfect name, because Kleenex had complete functionality to it. Now when you think of Kleenex, you don't think of its functional side. It's just the name of a product.
Right.
So we had all kinds of cigar relighter, cigar relighting, CRS, okay, cigar relighting solution. And none of those really had the poetry that we were looking for. Well, my wife's sister, who's wonderful, she's just a wonderful person. She's in the medical field. She doesn't smoke cigars. She doesn't smoke cigarettes. She doesn't smoke at all. In fact, she's quite anti-smoking. And but she loves her sister, and she loves me, and she kept saying, so what is that product Dane's working on? And she'd say, well, it's the cigar relighting solution. She says, so what does that mean? She says, well, it's because you can relight it and smoke it again. She asked the question over the week that she was here, because she's from El Paso, about 5 times. And the last time she said it, she says, now what is that Repuff stuff that you guys are working on? And my wife at that point said, Repuff. And it's perfect, because in her innocence, she synthesized all the things we had told her, still not understanding the functionality, came up with a name that both described the function and had the poetry that we were looking for. I thought, Repuff, that's it. And didn't even test it. Went right to the lawyer, got it trademarked, and so that it would be good to go. So that's how we came up with Repuff.